Hello YouTube, Laskeri here, and welcome back to another episode of Laskeri Plays Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. I just got back from doing one of the very first gathering quests after the quest that we had done. So basically, the first quest in the list I had done, because all it required me was to go to one of the areas and press circle a bunch of times. So that wasn't very interesting, so I didn't want to record. Nope. And the feline granny is back, and she has feline comrades for us. The options that we have aren't very open right now since we're only hunter rank 1. But I think I am going to go for Hank. And that costs us 1,000 zeni. And if we go into our house, we can request that he come on us with missions. There's the chef that we hired last time, Mel, and here is Hank. And that's the kitchen board, so we can change up the chef roster and stuff like that. And this is the feline comrade board. And right now we only have the acorn and Mafamoka set, which is the armor that we're wearing. Anyways, we can change like the activity that they're doing, so hand to hand will slowly increase their level, dumbbells will increase their attack power, sit-ups will increase their defense, forms will do both, and meditation will increase the combat points, which are basically skill points for the cats. At this point, I think I'm going to do forms because it's more or less balanced, and even though cats aren't very good at avoiding attacks, and as such, defense doesn't really make a difference because they have low health for the most part. But there are some skills that can improve their availability, but a lot of them don't unlock until you're higher feet fondness level with at least one of your cats and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get going. I also upgraded our weapon to the next rank. If we go into the armor shop, weapon craft, improved weapon, we see now that we have the large bone where it was just called the bone before. From here, I think we don't really have the stuff. We don't have the stuff to upgrade it from here, but we probably are going to leave this weapon alone anyway. So let's just get going. This time, I think we should do a slaying quest, and the next one would be the Geoprey slaying quest. So I think we'll get going on that. And you can see this one has a slightly longer time limit. Oops, I did not need to do that. And you can grab the map, the whetstones, the first aid med, the rations, and hot drinks, even though we don't need them because of our armor. And let's get going. Geoprey usually spawn in the higher regions of the mountain. And I will eat 2 of my rations to increase the amount of time that we can run for. Because it just makes sense to do so. We press circle to climb ledges, by the way. So yeah, I know right now it's not a very interesting series because we don't really have access to any of the more dangerous monsters, but that's what the first quest that showed us the Tigrex was for, to give us a little taste of how dangerous the enemies get in this game. Of course, Tigrex is nowhere near close to the strongest monster in the game, and that is a Geoprey. Those are Geoprey. They're fairly simple patterns, so once you know how to fight them, you just have to avoid their spit attack. This guy should go down. Yeah, there we go. And there might be some in 8, I am not sure, as I haven't played this in a while, but Hopefully they're in either in 8 or 7 or in the lower area of 5. It's usually where they are, from what I remember. Doesn't look like they're up here. Yes, if you're fighting a Tigrex, they can actually stand on that ledge up there. And that thing right there is the skin, the shedded skin of a Kushala Daora, which is an Elder Dragon, which we are nowhere close to being able to fight. Yeah, Kushala Daora is tough because it has a wind aura around it, which basically makes you get blown away if you get too close to it, on top of having a rather strong wind gale breath attack. So yeah. Anyways, I think that they might be down here. Just go wait for our stamina to regen. Oh, yeah, there we go. Just enough. For the quest required we slay 5, and we have 3 down, now 4 down. I know that that was the breath attack. And objective clear. See, when you kill the bugs, they don't always drop like down like this. That's actually somewhat of a random chance. Yeah, the Vespoids. But if you hit them with a poison smoke bomb, they always drop down if they die by poisoning. So that's a good tip if you need to gather stuff from Vespoids for whatever reason. Just doing some quick mushroom gathering. Or I don't see why you get a bone from a mushroom pile, but okay. Blue mushrooms are used in making potions, so that's why they're useful. And bones can be used to make tools. So I'm not complaining getting either of those. And we are done with this quest. So a fairly quick one. Paintberry, small monster bone, geofray scales, and geofray hides. Okay. Oh, I forgot to set the feline comrade to follow us in the quest. We don't really need him at this point, but we will grab him anyways. So now Hank will follow us out into the field. Which is a pretty useful feature, since the felines can at least grab the monster's aggro off of you if nothing else. Let's see. Let's do this one, since it's not as boring as just grabbing leaves, but yep, and now we have Hank following us. So let's get our supplies and get going. Oh, we are full on hot drinks. Get some rations. This is usually what you do in the beginning of a quest. Well, later on, once you have feline chefs and they can give you bonuses for eating things, you don't really need to rely on items at the beginning of quests. You can't always get maximum stamina and maximum health out of the meals, but it's worth trying because there are items that can temporarily increase your health, as well as being able to increase your health with your armor sets. But right now, we are looking for the antlers of these guys. And that is on an antler. I don't know what Hank is doing over in Area 1, but we'll let him do that until he decides. Oh, he's deciding to come over now. And hopefully, since we have attacked the Antigua, tanks should also be aggroed on them. Yep. Oh, yeah. I picked him because he was a preferred weapon feline, but felines can also use bombs, which can be dangerous for the player if they get in the wrong area. As far as like getting close to where the felines throw their bombs. At low level, the bombs don't do much damage, but they can be upgraded to do quite a bit of damage. But that also increases your risk of getting hurt, so I'm not a huge fan of bomb-wielding felines, because they can also ruin when you're trying to get a sneak attack on a monster. Yeah, that was a close one. We have 1 antler and we need 3 so far. Well, we have 1 antler so far and we need 3 to finish the quest. So, let us see. A lot of Monster Hunter is just farming mobs, hopefully to hopefully get the resources that you need, especially when it comes to later game armors, because usually they need at least one of a very rare drop from difficult mob. So yeah, that's what the end game of Monster Hunter usually consists of. Of course, it depends on your playstyle. There are some cheaper armors that have like combinations of various sets that you don't need to get the full set to get the maximum amount of bonuses or skills out of. You can only have 5 skills at most on one armor, so there is a limit, but it's hard to reach 5 skills. Oh. And if you saw the sparkles, that's because I have the Divine Protection ability, which basically means that anything that could have been a critical hit isn't, and things that normal hits are negative critical hits, or do less damage against the player than they normally would have. I just attacked my comrade. That's another thing. Friendly fire in Monster Hunter doesn't usually hurt their health, but it does make them go flying, so that's especially noticeable when you're using a hammer or a greatsword. Hey, he's dead, cat. You don't need to throw a bomb at him. And we still need 1 more antlers. So, hey, get over here. Cat, why you throw bombs? Oh, he's dead. I think he's dead now, though. And we are done with this quest. So let's get out of here real quick, because we don't need to dilly-dally on simple quests like this. Quests like this are the ones that you just want to get in and out as fast as you can, because they don't really usually give you much in the way of resources. They give you a bit of a boost, but not enough to consider spending a lot of time on them. Like when you're doing like an actual hunting quest, that's when you want to make sure you've put in enough efforts towards killing the monster, as well as breaking off their horns or cutting off their tails or whatever, so you can get extra drops. There's a lot of stuff to take into account when playing Monster Hunter, but once you get it all down, it's as much of following a routine than anything else. With the longsword, you can actually infinite combo after the quest completed screen happens if you keep pressing the combo, the two triangles and then a square or a circle. But if you stop pressing it, it'll put your weapon away like it normally does. So we got a bunch of stuff from that. And Hank got a bitter bug. Okay then. Then we have 1100 zenny. And we have the guild, 160 guild points. Guild points are used for unlocking titles and stuff like that. They're unrelated to your hunter rank in this game, but they're still used. If we go to guild card, into edit, and I am an experienced none. So these are all the things that I have so far. So the only one that I've unlocked from getting guild points is Vagrant so far. And I don't know why that is the default, but we will roll with it. I think, let's see, can we create a... Ooh, no, that's a great sword, we don't need that. So we can't create the Iron Katana, it's too expensive anyways, but let's see how much it would be to buy one. Oops. Oh, you can't buy one, so we have to do mining before we're able to upgrade our sword anymore, and we'll get a new one. So let's see what else there is. I think, yep, the only quest that we have left to do before we get to the next level is slaying Blangos, which are, as I explained in the last episode, basically white apes. Well, snow apes. Yes, that's nice, Hank. You do that. And they should be in the top 3 areas because it would make sense for a snow-dwelling ape to live in the cold. Even though this whole area is cold, the top of the mountain would obviously be the most cold. Upgrading the bone to the large bone didn't really increase it much in damage or sharpness, but it did increase the duration of, or like the length of the sharpness, which basically means you can go longer without needing to sharpen your weapon. With the low rank weapons, that is an incredibly good thing because they do not have much in the way of sharpness. So we will go up. Hopefully this quest shouldn't take too long. It is a fairly simple one. And later, once we get into the more difficult quests, there might even be 2 episode-long ones because of the fact that the higher rank monster, or the more difficult the monster is, the longer it's going to take to kill them. Or capture them, as the case may be, depending on the quest. Some quests require you to capture rather than kill. I think the first urgent quest is a Blanganga, which is basically the boss form of these guys. It's particularly nasty beast, but it's not impossible. So it's not impossible, which is not proper English. The benefit of the longsword is that it has a slightly larger reach, so you can hit. Once you're doing the sweeping attacks with the spirit blade, you can get an increased range, which is definitely a benefit. Although there is a limit to the amount of monsters you can hit with one attack. Some weapons have a higher limit than that, I believe. But anyways, that was indeed a quick quest. It only took us about 3 minutes. And most of that was actually getting up to here. And now we have to do the first urgent quest. Should be an interesting one. I just love the world of Monster Hunter. It's generic, but it has so much spirit to it, I think. Like, I don't think you would expect to see talking cats in a more or less self-serious RPG. Ignoring Skyrim and the Khajiit, or well, the Elder Scrolls series and the Khajiits, which are more humanoid in nature. Granted, this is a Japanese game, so you're going to have some strangeness to it. At least there's a bit of quirk to it, which I don't mind. And we get honey, bones, and Blango pellets. And excuse me, Hank got our herb. Get him. So now we should have unlocked the urgent quest. There should be a yellow bubble above the village elder's head. Yep. Oh, it's a geodrome, not a blank gonga. That makes a little bit more sense. Well, it looks like you've been trying your very hardest indeed. By the way, have you ever heard of a geodrome? Up in the Snowy Mountains, there's a species of monster called a geoprey. Actually, the guild likes to call them white velociprey. The leader of the pack of the geoprey is called the geodrome, and I was hoping you would get rid of it for me. And don't just think of it as an oversized geoprey, because it is not. If you get hit one of its ice shots, your body will be frozen stiff. Also, if it feels threatened, it will run off to a different part of the field to recover. You can try to use brute force, but if that proves too hard, or try using a flash bomb or shock trap to stop the geodrome's movements. This village has had enough of that geodrome, and it's a perfect opportunity for you. Please finally rid us of that scourge. Will do. As soon as I buy some stuff. See, right now we only have access to iron pickaxes to mine, so let's see. I think I will buy all of the info books. I like having this kind of stuff knocked out of the thing. I think that's enough for now, because that's all we've encountered so far. But, yeah, I think I will grab some couple pickaxes, so we can go mining on the quest and therefore get the stuff we need for the iron katana. And then the urgent quest. The bosses in Monster Hunter usually take a bit longer to do than the normal quests. At the level we're at, this should take about 20 minutes to do. Yes, thawing agent is if you get hit. I did not need that tranquilizer shot, but we will take it anyways, just in case we do decide to use ranged weapons. The thawing agent is if you get hit by... Why do I always do that? I think it's out of habit, if anything. Yes, anyways, if we get hit by the geodrome's ice breath, then we will be frozen and it'll slow our movements down and make us unable to use our weapons, so that is not fun. We have the paintball to track his motions, so once we enter the area with him, which I think should be up here. That was a close one. But yes, once we enter the area, it's the first thing we're going to do after, assumingly, the cutscene plays, because usually there's a cutscene. He's not going to go anywhere, so we might as well do this. Stone, iron ore, stone. Stones can actually be thrown at enemies. Nothing else here. At least our pickaxe didn't break when we accidentally did it. The vein was already depleted. Iron pickaxes don't have a pretty... Well, they're not a really high chance of breaking, but I think we should grab this one too. Because the geoprey over there aren't going to bother us. I don't think, at least. Oh, see, the iron pickaxe is broken, but we got crystal, ice crystal, and 2 more iron ores, so let us head on. And there's 6 that the geodrome is in. When there's a cutscene, you know you've encountered the boss for the quest. It doesn't play in every quest that you encounter a boss, there's just the first encounters usually. That's well, it's not terribly small. Ooh. So yes, using the avoid is definitely a huge part of this run. So, and it's also a good way to cancel out of attack animations. So now that we're hurt, we're still at a decent amount of health, so we don't need to worry about that. Usually I like to heal at like under 2/3 health or under half health, depending on how much damage the monster is dealing. I know a lot of people don't like to use potions because it increases the, makes the game a bit too easy. And, wow, it was actually much easier than I was expecting it to be. And now the monsters can't actually hurt us. They will still knock us around, but they won't deal any damage unless we cleared the quest already. And that Geocray just shot ice. I think, no, they're not aggroed at each other, it's just that I was standing in front of the other one, so he retaliated. See, we don't take any damage. There's not much point to actually getting rid of these guys, we don't really need any of their drops, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just because the alternative is just waiting for a minute for the quest's complete timer to run down. We could just watch the cat surf around, but we are done with that quest. Is there any mining points around? I don't think there is. I think the only one is in the next area. Oh, too late. Anyways, yes, that was the first boss in Monster Hunter. Pretty easy, but that is okay, because as I said, it's only the first boss. We got screamers, which are used for sonic bombs, which is a good thing because some monsters hide in the sand, and you need to use sonic bombs to get them out. Anyways, send to item box. Yes, nothing. And we get 450 Poke Points, or 200 Poke Points from the goldstone piece that we mined up, which is cool. It wasn't a really small one, it was probably an average size. Average-ish. So it's an average of average. Anyways. So now I think we have access to more stuff. In here, of course we don't have the Poke Points stuff. And I think these guys also have more stuff. Yo! It's called an armor sphere. Armor spheres are how you upgrade armor. Of course, we're not going to waste it on the Mofu armor because it's not very good. And these are the armors that we have unlocked so far. We will get more as we get more materials and beat more variety of monsters, obviously. And let's see what she has in store. You got the organizer guide, which increases the amount of slots that you have in your box, and let's see. We could buy... Oh, we didn't buy the Book of Combos 1, but we don't really need it yet. No, I'll leave that for when we have more money. Just let me check the time real quick. Oops. Sorry for the delay. We should be able to do at least a little bit more. Oh, you seem to be doing well. Want to be hiring some more felines soon, huh? I suppose I could let you have two felines or so. If you want to hire let me know. Let's see. These guys. I like that this guy has feline heroics, which makes it so that it will cost less stamina to run away from monsters, I think? Something like that. Yeah, Hank is now level 3. That's cool. Let's see. Let's see what we can order from these guys. Just to give you a taste, no pun intended, of the cooking system. Okay, so what we have available is hardtack, snowy rice, mild herb, aged cheese, and sliced cactus. Let's just do 2 random ones, hardtack and aged cheese. We get that costs 50 Zane, and They do a funny cooking animation, and our character's apparently very hungry. It tasted normal. It didn't do anything for us, okay then. Well, that was a waste of 50s money, but I think I will be off for today. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode.